What's up, guys? Here's my review of the Eastwood EZ Turn 1,000-pound engine stand. I had just got this stand and put it together, and I'm going to give you guys my first impression. And I will say this stand is pretty high quality for the money. If you're looking for a stand that can be turned easily with the worm gear, I would highly recommend this stand. Obviously, I haven't put it to use yet, but that will be later in another video. But I can tell you from other stands that I have put together and friends who have other engine stands, Jegs, Summit, Torin, Vevor, etc., this stand is probably superior to all of them. The welds are really good, constructed on and welded properly to the stand. The bolts are actually 8.8 and 4.8. The wheels are 4.8, which I'm not overly concerned about that. But I know a lot of the engine stands, they send you cheap steel bolts instead of the grade 8.8. So I ended up returning a couple stands just because the bolts were just not up to par, and I did not want to go buy grade 8.8 bolts for the entire stand. So that's the plus side with this stand, that Eastwood does include high quality bolts. There's no flex or welds that are crooked or a bar that's been welded crooked. It rolls pretty nicely. And I will say the one big reason why I got this stand, and hopefully it does work with the engine hoist. I have yet to get an engine hoist, but the front post here should be able to fit an engine stand, engine hoist, and allow you to mount the engine a lot easier than some of the Harbor Freight engine hoists and engine stands where the feet are at, or the crossbars are actually at the angle. I know a lot of reviews, people who have bought the Pittsburgh engine hoist and engine stand, it doesn't work. It's just the legs are the same size. So I don't know why Pittsburgh decided to make the legs the same size, because I've seen on many YouTube videos that it's really a bear to try to get that engine on with that stand and hoist. So hopefully the front bar here is short enough to mount an engine a lot easier with the hoist. There was a couple things to note here. Down here on the casters, I'm not overly concerned, but they look like they just decided to put, it's not really a spot weld, but they ran like a little, maybe 2 or 3 beads across both sides. But underneath, it's fully welded on both sides. So hopefully the casters hold up. And I don't think that will be an issue with just that little tiny welds on where the caster plates are. Other than that, I still think this is a solid unit for an engine stand. There is one thing to note. I know a lot of the Jegs and Harbor Freight easy turn style engine lifts had some issues with the mount here and the worm gear. So this is kind of the same thing, but I think the worm gear and the actual gear on the head itself is actually a lot better. And then I noticed on some of the Harbor Freight models and jegs, people had to weld the pin inside here because there was a lot of movement. And with this stand, I believe there's no movement as far as when you move the handle. So here's the rotation. So it's actually pretty smooth. And if you notice, I actually ended up taking all the grease out, and I'm going to put my own grease in there. I actually have something a little bit better, Red and Tacky Grease by Luke's Products. So I'm going to load those gears and the worm gear inside with a bunch of grease. Now here's the other issue. It's very minor, but this is a little mod that I did, or will be doing. So if you notice here, there's a lot of play down in here. So I took a thrust bearing washer and I cut a little slot out of it. And the thrust bearing washer is actually going to slide in right at the back side. So I ended up taking off the bottom here and then just popping this in right here, and it'll eliminate all the slop. So I don't know if you see that or not. It eliminates all the slop, and it's still fully functional. So I'll show you that again. Even the handle slides. And then if you had an engine on there too, it could put a lot of stress on the worm gear sliding in and out there. So, but I would highly suggest cutting a washer. This is a thrust bearing washer, and then just sliding it up in the edge here. And then it removes all the slop. So now the gear is actually just moving because of the pitch of the worm gear, and that's really it. Which I'm not really concerned about. Some people are, I'm not. Same with the handle here. No movement in the handle, which is awesome. Other than that, I will have another video after I get my block mounted on here. Ended up picking up a Dart 302. This is going to go into the for the Turbo Mustang build. Not sure if you guys have seen my previous videos of the Turbo Mustang or not. But this is 94 Cobra. It's already turboed. Factory motor, rebuilt motor, but it is turboed. It's a lot of fun. Anyways, back to the stand. I would recommend the stand. Anybody who wants to spend the little extra money, I ended up getting this stand on the Black Friday special. So I saved $100 on the Black Friday special. I believe they're $299. I ended up getting this stand for $208. So sorry, just under $100. Not to mention, I got the free shipping code, so it was like 208 plus tax through Eastwood. And I did forget to note that the stand does fold up too for storage. So you can pull the pin out right here, and then remove the cotter pin, or and then you can take the bar and it actually folds down. So there's a little slot here that it folds down, and then you pull the bottom pin out also, and that the actual head and the beam actually just folds down, and then you can roll it around, and then you could actually tilt it up and store it wherever you want. So that's kind of cool. But I won't be storing this since it'll have an engine block. So, well, there you go for the review. I know there's not a lot of reviews out there for the Eastwood EZ turn engine stand, but I believe it's a high quality product for the money. If you want to spend that extra money for the 63-to-1 gearing and not have to manually turn an engine over anymore, I would highly recommend this stand.